Retired Special Forces officer Lieutenant General P.C. Katoch, a young major then, was part of the Special Forces team that went into the Golden Temple. Lieutenant General Katoch spoke to Mint about his experiences during Operation Blue Star. So I'll sort of begin by asking you, sir, take us briefly, not in a very detailed manner, but briefly through the hours leading up to Operation Blue Star. How were the final stages of the operation planned, and at what stage were you, along with your special forces, if I may call them, pressed into service?
Well, I was a major at that point of time, and we got the information only in the morning of 2nd of June. And same day, part of my unit along with my CO, we moved to Amritsar.
Right.
And we were given a briefing, but intelligence was practically zero. So we went round in the evening, and eventually on 5th, 6th night, we went in.
And what kind of planning did you have in terms of the number of people that were a part of your Special Forces division? What were the paraphernalia that you had at your disposal in terms of arms and ammunition and in terms of other things that you may have had to carry inside, sir, that you can recall?
Well, it is like this, that firstly it was only part of the unit which went, not the complete unit.
Okay.
And there were a lot of news items of, Paradop and whatnot, whereas it was practically a ground operation.
Right.
And the inner parikrama, actually there were troops from 3 sides which were pumped in. So we went in from the southern direction, and it was practically a ground operation. I mean, it was like infantry. It was nothing to do with something special.
What exactly was the absolute final trigger for beginning the operation? What I'm essentially trying to ask you is, were the people inside given a set of final warnings? Were the first shots fired from the inside, or did the army fire the first shots? What was the final trigger for the beginning of the operation?
See, when we arrived there on the 2nd, we found that on 1st of June, already a clash had been occurred with the CRPF.
Okay.
And a number of CRPF people actually had been killed.
Okay.
So obviously the trigger was a political trigger.
All right.
And I don't know, as far as we were concerned, we were just told on the 2nd of June. So what the government wanted to do, I really don't know. Like last year, there was a lot of talk of, the Brits, SAS coming and whatnot.
That's right.
But we are not aware of that.
I was actually going to come to that. In fact, that
Yeah.
was one of my questions. Were you at any stage, or any person senior to you, briefed by the British intelligence, the British SAS?
None, zero.
Okay. And did you get to hear of it any time later?
But you see, there are other forces which are outside the army.
Right.
Now, that may have happened.
You are essentially referring to the intelligence agencies.
Special group of the Special Frontier Force, etc. If something happened there, well, the army is not aware, and at least nobody from my unit knew about it.
Was the Special Frontier Force of the RAW a part of the operation as well, sir?
Well, it was not RAW. It was the special group, part of it, which did come on 5th morning.
Okay, and they were a part of the hostilities that eventually took place?
Yeah, they're part of people who went in. But I'm not aware whether they had any briefing or sort of were in touch with the SAS and all. I have no idea on that.
Okay. So there was a complete media blackout before and during the operation, which sort of further fueled speculations and rumors. I mean, we are all wiser with the benefit of hindsight. With the benefit of hindsight, do you think such secrecy was actually needed?
I personally feel the media should have been taken in. And specifically, if there were any people who had done something like a war correspondent course and all, because after all, we don't want to get the media knocked out there.
That's right, sir.
Because it was a built-up area, which is just about inside 350 meters by 250 meters.
That's right, sir.
And you are, all those are shut and just the pillars to take refuge.
Right.
And if you take the media inside, well, people could have got killed.
That's
Maybe
correct.
that was one of the reasons.
Some people who were inside the premises of the Golden Temple, people like Ramu Walia and a couple of others, they've actually claimed, two things. First, they say that had Khalistan been declared by Bhindranwale, Pakistan may have opened a front, the western front with Punjab border. Was that plausible at that point in time?
No, I think that's highly stupid. I mean, there's no way. Where is Amritsar and what opening up of the front?
Right.
I mean, that is something extremely stupid. It is like somebody saying that in Gilgit-Baltistan, people declare independence and India opens up the front against Pakistan. That is pure nonsense. But
Okay.
yes, Pakistan was definitely part of the terrorism, which they are even trying to revive it today.
Sir, also, several other people, again including Ramu Walia, say that, look, the army killed several individuals in cold blood. They basically lined people up and they shot them. In fact, even in the documentary with Gavar Sandhu, Ramu Walia has claimed it, and I think some other people in the past have also claimed it. How true could that possibly have been? So you may not have been witness to it, but Did you hear such rumors?
Well, let me put it this way, that we went in, they were firing like hell. I mean, they meant business. In fact, even on second, third night when we went round, I went round with my CO and climbed buildings and saw they had sandbagged the area and they had proper pickets to fire.
Right.
And even the lower marble in the Akal Takht, which is facing the Darshini Dodi, had been cut open and the LNGs had been fixed there. So subsequently, what happened, I really don't know. I was wounded on the first night and I was evacuated, but I don't think you have an army which will shoot people in cold blood.
Some people, like including KPS Gill, say that, Operation Blue Star was actually, it was necessary, but it was very ill-conceived. They say, and they actually draw parallels with Operation Black Thunder 2, which KPS Gill himself sort of spearheaded. They say that had it been better planned, the job would have been done with far fewer casualties. Would you agree, sir?
Well, let me put it this way, that Black Thunder 2 was done because they had known what happened in Blue Star.
Right.
And in Black Thunder 2, while KPS Gill may have been given all the credit because of the whatever political reasons, the fact is that the Special Action Group which went in of the NSG,
So,
and they did the job, they were 100% army.
interesting.
So what happened in Blue Star is maybe that the planning was done in a haste for whatever reason, because last minute if the army was told that we want this to be cleared soon, well, that could have happened. Otherwise, in built-up area, you really don't go in from all directions knowing what is inside. Maybe Black Thunder was in hindsight, and they could starve the people out and cut out the electricity and the water, etc., and starve these people.
Okay.
Whereas I don't know what the political direction was in Blue Star. Maybe the orders were that you clear them the fastest.
Right. But you wouldn't say that Blue Star per se was badly planned. It was probably misplanned only, if at all it was, because of non-discovery of information. Had there been complete information
what had
discovery?
happened is that the division which was there for decades, 15 days,
Right.
that had been moved out to the border.
Okay.
And in fact, a division was brought in from Meerut, which was new to the place altogether. So
Right.
intelligence was practically zero. But the fact is that on 1st of June also, when the firing took place with the CRPF, it was very clear that inside people mean business and they want to fight it out and they are well armed. As I mentioned, I don't know what the political direction from top was. But definitely it was done in a very, very hurried manner. And normally, say, in our type of operation, say in special operations, you don't go through the gates, which is known to everybody. You blast your way through.
That's right.
But that sort of a damage was not permitted, although we had the explosives.